Happy Sunday, everybody. How's it going? I am an hour early today. So for those of you that are here along with me, thanks for being here. If I inconvenienced anybody by moving in an hour, I apologize for that. But sometimes schedules just don't work. So we're going an hour early tonight. So I got about a half dozen people here. I appreciate everyone. I'm sure more people will jump on here in a second. A lot of people get notifications and then they start jumping on. So thank you to everyone. Also, I don't have my camera stand. Thanks, Dave. Appreciate it. Lima Charlie from Dave Stanchevsky. I don't have my normal camera stand, so I'm trying to work as best as I can here. Johnny Quest, good to see you. So what we're going to do tonight is I'll do a quick fishing report. Hey, George. We'll do a quick fishing report, and then we're going to go over the marine mat, the flooring that I had installed in the boat, the bolsters, the flooring that I had installed, I guess it would have been May now. And so it's been, Jeff Abbott, good to see you. Camera's just fine. Thanks. Thank you very much for that. Thank you. Yeah, we're going to go over the flooring. We'll go over the bolsters. It's had a good seasons of hard use on it. And I'm going to go over what I like about it, what I don't like about it. And I'm going to tell you right now, what I like about it is way up here. What I don't like about it is pretty much non-existent. The stuff is great, and I've just fallen in love with it. Everybody, I just had people at the boat here. I mean, literally just minutes ago, coming down here to look at the flooring. They wanted to look at the color palettes. They wanted to get. People are always coming down here, want to hop on the boat, see how it feels. And I don't mind that at all. If you're in the area and you want to check it out, feel free. I had people over the weekend that stopped down that wanted to see the flooring. It's great to meet people. I have people come down every weekend, but a lot of times they want to stop and say, "Hey, how's the flooring? Can we take a look at it?" I don't mind at all. If you want to, stop on in. We'll get you hooked up. So yeah, tonight we're going to do a quick fishing report. Then we'll go over the flooring. I'll show you how it's handled the season of use. I'll show you the damage that it's sustained. It has sustained just a little. But it's a no fault of the flooring itself. It's just from fishing. I'll show you more here in a few minutes, so you'll know exactly what I mean by that. All right, so what we got coming in on the comments? Nick Padula's here. Thanks, Nick, for the Lima Charlie. Somebody said they caught a 14-pound something or other just a few minutes ago. I saw that come in. Teresa Flanders, a whole bunch of thumbs up. Thank you for that. And like that, we're jumping up to a bunch of people. Thanks for everything. Mark Pearson, what up? Back to you. Craig Enderby, hey, back to you. Jason Everett, thanks for all the thumbs up, everybody. As you know, those thumbs up do help the channel. They do go into the algorithm, so they do promote these videos out to a ton of other people. So thank you for that. Chris Olson, good to see you, man. Jeff Abbott, just like that. Jeff Abbott throws a whole bunch of thumbs up at me. Thank you. Yeah, Steve Eddy. Yeah, thanks for pointing out my Rudolph nose. I appreciate that. Steve's always good for a comment like that, I found over the last few months. Yeah, definitely a little red in the nose, a little red in the face still. You know, I'm still out in the sun every day, pretty much every day. So let's talk about this real quick, if you don't mind. Last week I talked about if we wanted to switch the videos from Thursday night or from Sunday night to Thursday night and back and forth. It was about a 50-50 split. Some people wanted Thursday, some people wanted to stay on Sundays. Well, what we're going to do here is we're going to do a mix and see how that works out. This coming Thursday, I will do a video. I'll do a live video just like this coming Thursday for the next weekend. Then we'll skip that weekend, and then the following weekend I'll go into a Sunday night. So you're going to get the best of both, I think. You'll get a Thursday and a Sunday. And then eventually, maybe I'll stay all Sundays or maybe all Thursdays. I just want to see how this plays out and see how it's accepted by everybody on the channel, which way works better. It really makes no difference to me. It's all about what works best for everybody on the channel. So we'll play it like that. So we'll do this one on Sunday, what we're doing right now. I'll do one again on Thursday, this coming Thursday. We'll skip the next Sunday then, and then back and forth, back and forth. So should work out pretty good. That gives you, if I do a Thursday night, that gives you fresh information. A lot of people go out Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. That gives you fresh information for that weekend. And then if we let that, sit on the back burner for a week and then come back on Sunday, I think you get where I'm going with that. I don't need to over-explain it anymore. Anyway. Oh, Randy. Caught 3 at Ludington yesterday. Very nice. Good job. Brian Bowers, thanks for the thumbs up. All right, let's do the fishing report. We're up to quite a few people now, so we'll get that going. Again, if you're chiming in here, I'm sorry for being an hour early tonight, but that's just the way it played out tonight. I have some things I need to do this evening, so it is a 6 o'clocker tonight for sure. So if not a lot of people on here, it's not a big deal. But anyway, fishing report around here has been decent. I would give it like, I don't know, 6 out of 10, 5 out of 10. Somewhere middle of the road right now. We went out over the last 3 or 4 days, ran a bunch of trips. Some mornings we had 14 fish on. Some mornings we had 10 fish on. Last night we had 2 fish on. And that's just fishing for you. There's days that I have stinkers just like anybody else. Just because I'm a charter captain doesn't mean I'm any better than anybody else out there. We have the days where we have a light bite also. And last night was one of those nights. We were 1 for 2 last night. But yesterday morning we had 14 fish on. Boated about half of them. The evening before that, similar numbers. The day before that, similar numbers. A little bit better bite. But we had that big north blow that came in over the last couple of days. And that really boogered some things up for yesterday. Definitely. So it made it yesterday evening much more difficult for us. But what has been working is, let me go over a few things here real quick. Let's start off a location. Really, there's fish all over out front right now, really up to the 22s, all the way down in front of Manistee, and then all the way south of Manistee, all the way down to the point. There's scattered fish all over through there. Best depths that I found over the last few days were really 80 feet out to 120 feet. I never did fish the point like some of my counterparts did. They fished some shallower waters like 70 feet out to 150, and they had some decent fish down there as well. Speeds have been on the upside, so if you're going to be fishing the next couple of days, don't be afraid to bump your speed up. I was just talking with another charter captain about how the last couple of weeks has been a higher speed on the fish hawk. So whenever I'm talking about speed, just remember that I'm talking about speed at the ball, the fish hawk speed. So by higher speeds, I mean like 2.6 up to 3.0. Seems to have been getting the job done a little better, especially in the morning or later in the evening. As the day progresses, the sun comes up, I don't have a problem with slowing that speed back down, getting down in a little deeper water, or putting my baits down rather, into a little deeper water. The break right now, it's all over the place. That north wind came in, and there's some places that I fished that had flipped the lake completely over, and then I motored for a couple miles, and the break was at 40. I motored for a couple miles, and the break was at 55. And then I motored for a couple miles, and the lake again had flipped completely. So that north wind really came in and threw that temperature all over the place. I don't know how Frankfurt went this weekend as far as the tournament. I'd be very surprised if anybody put together a really good box on either day, just because of the way the temps were moving around. If somebody did, hey, congratulations to them. I haven't seen anything yet. But yeah, that temp has been all over the place. So speed-wise, like I said, bump it up a little in the mornings or later in the afternoon. I ran my gear anywhere from, really my 7 color has been my hottest one, and a downrigger at 40 has been my hottest one. So, somewhere in that range has probably been our hottest area, but we were still getting bid on 4 colors and 5 colors and 300 coppers also. But the hot zone, or the more productive zone rather, seemed to be in that 35, maybe to 45 foot zone, that range through there. So that could all change by tomorrow. Of course, I throw that caveat out every time. Be careful with the information, because it can change quickly, especially this time of the year. All right. What has been working as far as baits? Spoons. Spoons have still been the best. Spoons have still been our best producer. We've been getting a limited plug bite, and by limited I mean maybe 1 or 2 a trip. Sometimes 0 a trip, a limited meat rig bite, and by that about the same amount, 1 or 2 a trip, maybe 0 a trip. Primarily it's been spoons, and it hasn't just been mags or super slims or mediums or standards or whatever whatever way you want to call them. It's been a mix of all sizes of spoons. Some days it's been a lot of super slims mixed with mags. Other days it's been a lot of mags mixed with some slims, but both have been doing quite well. Color-wise, there's been a lot of blues lately. Dancing Anchovy took some rips. Oh, A-Bomb. A-Bomb is still doing A-Bomb things for me. That thing is still taking bites almost every trip, 2 or 3 a trip. So a little bit of blue mixing with some white has been on the better side. The Fuzzy Bear blue jeans, or half blue jeans again, has been good. The blue slice has been good. The green frog with the white belly, that thing's been working for us as well. That on a slider, on a downrigger down 45 or so, on a free slider, that's been taking them. I had it one day also on I was running on a 7 color, and that thing took quite a few rips that day also. So that green frog, white belly still does it for us year after year after year. I'm trying to think what else has been really on the good side. Oh, beck holds. I've been running that big split beck hold. I'll go grab it. It's easier if I just grab it than try to explain it. Hold on. So consistently on my center downrigger this year, I've been running 11-inch paddles, whether it be the Dreamweaver double slick, you know, the Pearl Glow double slick, or the Beckhold. So that Mercury Falling flasher from Beckhold has been absolutely, not only for me, really good, but has been pretty much the hot talk around this marine and quite a few others, I think, for a while now. That flasher just stormed in this year and really made a lot of news. So been running that a lot, but this one lately has been my go-to. It is a 11-inch Beckhold Mountain Dew over Blue Bubble, and then with a Pearl Glow on the back. And I've been running that with that green wrinkle fly, and that's one of those custom flies you can find on Purple Taco's website, purpletacoflysupply.com. That is a fly that you can tie. That's been the only fly I've been running on those paddles for the last 3 weeks. That's one that's been really, really working. So that's a good one. If you don't have that one, jump on that website, tie yourself one up, tie a couple up, and get out there and try them. So that's been on the center downrigger primarily. Out and downs has been primarily spoons. The green goby from Moonshine. My mate's been running that on his out and down daily. That thing's taken several fish. He's been stacking that, or he's been using it. I shouldn't say stacking. He's not stacking. He's been using that on the main and then running that free slider, that Glow Frog white belly above that on a free slider, and that's been working. That's the one that's really been going. Divers, the Dreamweaver flip fin paddle, the Two-Face, the Chrome Two-Face has been working wonders on my side of the boat, along with the 10-inch double pearl. The 10-inch double pearl spin doctor, my brain just took a dump there. The 10-inch double pearl spin doctor with a pickled sunshine fly. That's been doing wonders also on divers. Yellow goby at what depth, Russell? It was actually a green goby. Green goby, and he's been running that in between 40 and 50 feet down on the out and down, on the downrigger. Okay? All right, long lines, spoons. It's been mostly spoons. You know, mag moonshines, just your go-tos. Whether it be the raspberry carbon, whether it be the green night, whether it be the green jeans, the blue jeans, the half green jeans, the moonshine, the blue jackal, the sandbur. That's a really good one also. All of those are really, really good. What else have we been running out there? A-bomb. Again, I've been running that on a ton of my long lines, both in mag and in super slim. It's been taking lots of bites. And I mean, really, those are my go-tos lately. Just the ones that you think of primarily when you think of moonshine. Those go-tos: green jeans, blue jeans, half greens, half blues. The standard moonshine, the blue jackal, the green night, the blue night. Trying to think what else is going to come right at the top of my head. But those are the ones we've been running primarily, and they all been doing really, really well. All right, by really, really well, I mean what's expected here at the end of September, at the end of August, you know. Anyway, but when we're talking about the end of August, let's talk about pierhead fishing as well. We've been going out working the bank. Pierhead fishing, from what I understand, yesterday morning and 2 evenings ago was pretty decent, but that water has warmed back up significantly, where again it's like 72 on top and pretty close to that at the bottom. So what fish were in there either shot up the river, and we saw a lot of marks going up the river, either shot up the river or maybe even went back out and staged. I doubt anything went back out and staged. I think whatever was there shot up the river. All right. So you know, eventually those kings are going to run those pier heads. They're going to, whether or not that temperature stays at 85 degrees or it shoots down to 50 degrees, they're going to run the river eventually. They're programmed to. So if we get a big cold rain, if we get a north wind accompanied with a good cold rain, and be around those pier heads. And I could tell by the fleet of boats that were around the pier heads like yesterday and 2 evenings ago. Yeah, some people got the message, because I could barely get my boat through there, and I wasn't even fishing any lines. That's how tight the boats were. One thing I'll say about the pier heads, you know, I'm all about safety. You guys know, if you watch this channel for any amount of time, you know I'm about safety and courtesy. I try to play really nice with others, but I see some things going on in those pier heads just by coming through for 10 minutes. It just boggles my mind. It seems to be that every year in the past, when we fished the pier heads, we would go in. If you came out of the pier heads, you would turn to the north, you'd make a big counterclockwise out back in front of the piers, come back through, back into the pier heads, maybe go through or across, back out, turn to the north, and just keep doing that big counterclockwise rotation. Back and forth. But I came in, was it last night or 2 nights ago? There's boats going every single direction. I saw 4 boats coming out of the pier heads. One went north, one went south, 2 went straight. And at the same time, there was boats coming in from every other angle. I was just dumbfounded by what was going on, and I was certainly glad I was not in there fishing. You know, just be courteous in there. Things are going to happen. We get it. It's pier head fishing. Tempers are going to flare. You know, if you get cut off, just try to hold a civil tongue. Remember, there's a lot of kids out there that are just getting out there for the first time. Nobody needs to hear the adult words are sometimes said out there. Anyway, that's my 2 cents on pier head fishing. Unless I have to go in there, I don't like to go in there, but sometimes you absolutely have to. All right. Anyway, that's the fishing report for around here. Let's move into tonight's topic. Unless somebody has some questions about the fishing report, I will gladly field those right now. Go ahead and shoot them at me. Combat fishing. Yeah, Johnny Quest, that's what it is, combat fishing. All right. Yeah, Kirk, greens and blues have been pretty darn good, without a doubt. All right, not a whole lot of comments coming in. That's fine. Hey, let's move on to tonight's. I can't talk all of a sudden. Sorry. Let's move on to tonight's main subject. Let's look at the flooring. Let's talk about it first. I'll let you know where the company is that I got this from. Again, this is Marine Mat, M-A-R-I-N-E-M-A-T. They are out of Ludington, Michigan. A couple of really nice guys run this thing. It's a father and son team. Both of them are very familiar with boats, have been on boats for a long, long time, and they actually give a darn about boats, which is really, really nice. The flooring itself, I believe, comes from Florida. Comes in a ton of colors. I'm not here to sound like a commercial. I'm just telling you what I know about it. I know that these two guys will go anywhere in the state of Michigan if you want your floor to be, you know, if you just want somebody to come out and take a look, give you an estimate, they'll come do that, and they'll go anywhere in the state. There's a couple different options you can do with this stuff. You can cut out the template yourself, send it off. They'll send back the material. You can lay it all out yourself, do all the installation. I went the easy button away. I had them come out. They laser fit my boat, put it all into a computer. The computer spit back exactly what the dimensions were. It was all then custom cut down in Florida, shipped back, and then they installed it. And they installed it in like 2 hours. That's all it took them. Probably would have taken me, I'd probably still be doing it. Maybe into September I'd still be doing it. Who knows? But they did the entire deck, and they did the bolsters, you know, around the gunnels. You can do custom anything you want. If you want to put your boat's name onto a bolster in the floor, if you want to put whatever you want to on there, if you got a logo that you want on there, if you got the name of a business you want on there, whatever you want, it can be done. It can be cut into that floor. And by cut into the floor, I mean routed into the floor. And you'll see what I mean here in just a sec. I'll show you exactly how they did mine. But the name of the company, again, is Custom Marine Flooring out of Ludington, Michigan. Their website is custommarineFlooringMI.com. And that link is down in the description. You can check them out down there. Tons of colors to choose from. But let's take a look. I'll give you an overview, and then I'll go over what are some of the pros and cons that we got on this thing. All right, so we'll start right here, coming up out of the stairs. What I went with is the color called Camel, and then the inside track is called Slate Gray. And it's a closed cell flooring, which means that water can't get into it, and so it will never rot, it will never stink. And I'll say this about it, it does not fade. It's been in the sun with no canopy on all summer long, and it's still the same color now as it has been since they installed it. So let's look at some of the fit and finish here. I mean, you can see, here's my lure station. If you look down, there is very, very little space in between my seats. And we get way down there, and the fit is just absolutely spot on. I know without a doubt, if I had tried to do this myself, the fit and finish never would look like that. It would be way off. So I'm very, very happy that I had this done professionally. So I would lean toward, if I was ever going to do it again, I would lean towards that. So again, the flooring is done, and now I have the bolsters that are also done. These are, I believe, I'm not sure how thick they are. I mean, you can see they're thicker than my finger. So they're pretty thick, nice and comfortable, very durable, really nice to be able to put your knee up against something, you know, when you're back at the back of the boat fighting that fish. And you can see also what I'm talking about as far as customization. You know, I got the wave in there, all from my logo. This is not my logo specifically, but my logo does have a wave in it, and an anchor. And so they cut all that in for me. And I think it came out just absolutely beautiful. So you can see around my scuppers, all cut nicely, around my fuel caps, all custom cut. Pardon the dirt a little. Like I said, we've been fishing over and over again for the last few days. So just absolutely gorgeous stuff. Let's talk about some of the pros that are on this type of flooring. So first off is its looks. Everybody that comes down to the boat makes a comment on how good this looks. Now, this boat is a 1983, so we're looking at almost 40 years old. The improvement aesthetically, just the overall looks have gone up, in my opinion, 100%. The old flooring on here was great. I mean, it wasn't great. It was old. It was faded. It was slippery. It looked like a 40-year-old boat's flooring. So from it to go from that to what this is right here is a night and day, 100% improvement. I can't say enough about the looks. So, you know, they're 10 out of 10 for me on looks. The next big thing is safety. What does this thing do for safety? Well, I'll talk about what it does for me personally. Before I'd get done fishing on it, especially like on a double, my knees and my feet were just hollering at me, just swollen, or, you know, whatever, just shooting pains. Since I've had this stuff installed, I can say honestly that the pain in my knees and my feet has gone down tremendously. You know, if it was at 100% before, now it's down to like 20%. So that alone right there it's worth it for me, just to be able to walk at the end of the day still. Hey, I'm 52. It happens to every one of us, you know, if we're lucky enough to get that old. So safety wise, the slip ratio on this decking is amazing. Before, if I was standing, say, right over there and netting a fish, I don't know how many times I've leaned over to net a fish and my feet have slipped out from under me. And luckily, somebody was there to grab my belt before I went, you know what, over tea kettle into the lake. Since I've had this flooring installed, and you can see, this actually has like it's almost like a knurled finish on here. Super, super grippy. Super grippy. Since I've had that installed, absolutely no slipping whatsoever on my feet, my mate's feet, customers' feet, anybody's. And that's not just when it's wet. That's also when it's been covered with lake trout slime, king slime, whatever. Vomit. Don't mean to be grotesque, but we've had plenty of people on the boat that have vomited before, and it tends to get a little bit everywhere. So everything I've had on the floor so far, it's still been super, super grippy. So that alone, I mean, for me, this peace of mind that I'm not going to go flying off the back of the boat into the drink is a nice thing to have. All right, let's talk about damage. So like I said, we've been running this stuff for, well, since May now, May and June. Damage-wise, if you look right here, I'm going to tell you this. If you see one of your people on your boat smoking a cigarette, ask them to kindly hold the cigarette either over the side or not to smoke at all. Before I had the chance to do that with one of my customers, I watched, just as I turned, I watched an ember from his cigarette fall right onto the floor right there and made a nice little burn mark. So obviously stuff like that happens. So there's ways to avoid that, like I already mentioned. There's no wear and tear holes in this at all after this one season. What I mean by that is there's no places where it's worn down. There's no places where it's slipperier or not, or less slippery. How do I want to say that? More or less slippery than another. There is some damage that has occurred to this floor, and every single one of these, I'm going to show them to you, has been from bringing in a fish. This is normally where we flop the fish down right here. Bringing in a fish, it comes out of the net, and a hook has stuck into my floor. And that happened right there. It happened right there. And it happened right there. In fact, I can still see the barb point almost right there. And right there is a spot where I took my fish billy and went to give the fish a little love tap and completely missed when the fish flopped. And I smacked that floor about, a pretty good amount, and put that little dent right there. But again, hook damage, hook damage, hook damage, and then there's one more hook damage right there. All in the same spot, all from fish coming out of the net and the hook getting into that floor. So we have incorporated some different techniques and some different tactics. When that hook comes, or when the fish hits the deck, I've been trying to hold the fish's head up by the line, and that way it's keeping the hooks out of the floor. There's other ways to do it, but obviously be advised, if you're fishing out here with this stuff, and most of you will be, that those hooks can definitely damage the floor. I learned the hard way, learned from my mistakes. Okay, as far as I talk about fading, cleaning, this stuff cleans up amazing. And in the past, where if I had blood and grime and everything else all over the floor, I could have been back there for several minutes just scrubbing away on that bare deck. With this stuff, very rarely would it really take more than just my hose right there just spraying this deck right off. I'd say that probably gets 90 to 95% of all the grime and everything out of here. But about once a day still, I do take the simple green right there, and this stuff I highly recommend, and my dock brush right there, and that's all I use on here. And the only thing that I have found that will really want to latch onto the floor is fish blood. Fish blood left unnoticed. Like, I found it before under the cooler. If the cooler's over there, or some of it gets lost, if I found a couple times where fish blood has sat there for about 24 hours and gotten really nice and dry and sticky, or if not hard, all that took was just a little extra effort with a simple green and the scrub brush, and it came right off. All right, I did get oil on here a couple times, and that's really hard not to do when you're changing your engine oil, if you're working on the boat in some way. Engine oil, hydraulic fluid, general grime and dirt, everything came right off with that simple green and that scrub brush. Done and done. Came off real easily. So I honestly, this stuff is so much easier to clean than my old floor. So much easier. All right. Trying to think of the cons. I've given you lots of pros on this stuff. I'm trying to think of some cons. I mean, the grip is better, the look is better, the maintenance is easier, the cleanup is easier. I guess if you wanted to talk about one con, it would be price. The stuff is not exactly cheap to have installed into the boat. I'm not going to give you what it cost me, but if you call the company, they'll give you general cost prices. But when I think of other things I've added to this boat, downriggers, those are $1,500 downriggers. My Lowrance right there, $1,000 unit. Simrad up here, another $1,000. Garmin over there, another $800. Autopilot, another $2,000. Radar up on top, another $2,000. All of those things add to the boat, add to the value, and add to the overall functionality of the boat. And this marine mat is exactly that. It's just an added functionality to this boat, let alone the amount of resale value it will add to your boat. Yeah, I have no doubt right now this has probably added 2 or 3 times the value of what it cost me to have this installed. So if you think about it that way, and you think about it compared to the other things that you're adding to the boat anyway, I would say in a nutshell, it is well worth it. Well worth it. If you're going to do it, go for it. Don't hesitate. These people do a wonderful job. They do great installation, great product. And it is well worth it to me to have this now in my boat for this season and for seasons to come. All right. All right. If you got any questions on the marine mat, please shoot it to me in a comment right now. Otherwise, we're going to go back down below and we will continue on here if anybody else has any other questions. The biggest thing I want to show everybody, though, if there's one thing you take with you, it's the durability of this stuff. Like I said, we've been running and gunning on this stuff day after day after day. I truly expected it to be maybe a little faded out, maybe a little worn down in spots, maybe a little sun faded, and absolutely none of that has occurred. So really happy with it. Chris Olson wants to know, were the hooks hard to remove? No, actually, Chris, the hooks, the way they damaged, it was really just they caught the material just slightly and pulled up the material that way. They didn't embed into it except for the one. And that came out really with no problem whatsoever. All right. Let's go take you back downstairs here. Mind the mess. Get your put you back on my handy dandy camera holder. All right. Just set back up here. All right, there we go. All right, questions, comments, you got them. Let me know. What do you want to know about the stuff? Hold on. Trying to get it so I can see it a little better. Okay. Is installation included in part of the matting? Yes and no. They will do the installation as part of the whole deal. Yes. So I don't think it's included as part of the matting. You'd have to call it to SM for sure. Can they replace a piece of damaged? Yes, absolutely. That's one nice thing about this marine mat is they can actually come in, cut out a piece, custom cut another one to fit that, and replace that. I know that for sure. Sorry, everybody. Just trying to get a little better look here. For my wife and I tried a yoga mat for non-slippage. Don't try that. That's great advice. I think that was Fred Bailey who said that. That was beautiful. That was funny. Yeah, Chad, I hope the weather cooperates for you also. Looks like Thursday and Friday. Oh, that reminds me, everybody. Excuse me, I'm sorry about this camera placement. My Thursday and Friday trips for this week have canceled on me for darn good reasons. I don't fault them at all. My Thursday and Friday for this week are now wide open. I've been booked up this entire year for months, and all of a sudden I get a couple openings back-to-back like that. It's pretty crazy. If anybody is in the market for a charter for this coming Thursday, this coming Friday, get a hold of me. I do have openings. The fishing is still rock solid. There's still a lot of good fish coming in. And the weather looks really good on both days as it stands right now. So 231-252-1177. Call or text me if you want to try to get out. I have mornings and afternoons open. I'll be happy to get anybody out. Again, 231-252-1177. If you want to get out there, I'll take you. Okay? Or you can email me, christangletackle@gmail.com. I'll see what I can do for you that way also. Guys, gals, I don't have much more for this week. I know that was kind of infomercial-ish, but I was promising that review on that for months, and I definitely was not going to slack off on that. Plug bite has been slow, Fred. I went over that a little bit already, but yeah, been slow. Is an 8-foot beam too narrow to run a corner or a center downrigger? That is a little narrow. You're starting to throw a lot of stuff down in the water that maybe you don't need to. I would probably err on the side of 1 on each corner instead of 3 across the back for an 8-foot beam. You can do it, and maybe you'll have great success with it. I could be way off on it, but in my opinion, I would stick to just 1 on each corner. What else you got? Anything? Chad Douglas, say the number again. Wife got a pen. 231-252-1177. Jordan Harris, is it glue down? It's almost like a peel and stick, Jordan, if I remember right. Almost like a peel and stick. Mark Pearson, you are a good man. Thank you for reminding me. Don't forget, everybody, this show is proudly brought to you every Thursday and Sunday by Dreamweaver Lures. Check them out at dreamweaverlures.com. Yeah, excellent. Thanks, Mark, for reminding me. I love Dreamweaver, and I always want to say thanks to them for sponsoring this show. They love being sponsors of this show. They love being on here. Of course, everybody's seen Scott on here many, many times from Dreamweaver. He truly enjoys coming on here and talking with everyone. Somebody just asked me what autopilot I would recommend. I run a Simrad AP24. That is like 2 generations ago, I believe, and I love it. Thing works wonderful. Wonderful. So if they're better now than they were 2 generations ago, they got to be really good, right? But I did upgrade to the newest Simrad compass, the Precision 9. That was a good upgrade. Kirk Filippo, you were at the shop yesterday. Outstanding. Sorry I missed you, Kirk. If I don't think I was... I might have been in there for a little while. I might have missed you, though. All right. Sounds like we're starting to wrap it up here, everybody. Comments are slowing down. Thanks, everybody, for being here, taking time out of your day to stop in and talk. Always good people on this channel. Always good information, being passed back and forth. Email again, Chad, Chris Tangle Tackle, all one word, at gmail.com. All right? Somebody wants to get rid of the carpeting. Carpeting doesn't belong on a boat, period. Carpeting should be banned. It should be a life sentence in a court of law for anybody that puts carpet in a fishing boat, period. All right, that's it. Wrap it up. Let's get out of here. I will be back. Don't forget, this is going to be a Thursday this coming week. Thursday, 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock Thursday. All right, be safe. Go catch fish, everybody.